Now the Phillies and Yankee game, by extension of the Marlins, who were just playing the Phillies over the weekend after that outbreak. Now the Phillies-Yankees game has been postponed tonight, so that's the big breaking news in terms of this area. But Moose, here's where I have all these questions, and I'm just curious, and we'll hear from Rob Manfred, I assume, at some point today after they have this sort of all hands on deck meeting that Major League Baseball is planning. But what does one game do? What does one day do? You're going to get these test results from the Phillies, and hopefully, knock on wood, those come back and there is not an outbreak on the Phillies team. But at the same time, if this virus has told us anything, sometimes that first test means you didn't test positive today. That could change tomorrow, because sometimes if you're exposed, it takes 5 to 7 days to reveal whether it's asymptomatic or not. It just takes 5 to 7 days sometimes to show up on a test. And so this is just all adding up to what is the first major test for Major League Baseball in terms of the season right out of the gate. And what does baseball feel comfortable moving forward with, and what do the players feel comfortable playing under?
I think baseball is going to continue all the way around, obviously, and then they're going to take these instances here and see the best way to handle it. The best way to handle it with the Marlins and the Phillies. I'm sure they're dropping to their knees, praying the good Lord above that there is not spread on the Philadelphia Phillies, and they can get them back on the field, and then just have to deal with the Marlins and exactly how they can get a representable team on the field for the Miami Marlins. That's the way Major League Baseball. But this is not just, we come on the airwaves talking about this being a baseball problem, and it's a disaster. It just is. It's an unmitigated disaster because whatever, even as sound as the health and safety protocols were, look at what's transpired, and we're just talking about the fact that we're 3 or 4 games into the MLB regular season. Now you look at the trickle-down effect. Think about it. Think about this. How big of an eye-opener is this if you're the NFL? How big of an eye-opener is this if you're college football? How big of an eye-opener is this when you are looking at leagues that are not going to be playing within a bubble, right? The NBA, for all intents and purposes, has handled themselves really well, right? The Rangers yesterday skated for the final time before heading up north to Canada to get inside their bubble, and they're going to get their playoff series started next Saturday. This has got to be an eye-opener if you were rooting for NFL football this fall. Think about this. It's opening weekend in Major League Baseball, and we're already dealing with, on the, 5th day of the MLB season, we're already dealing with 2 games getting postponed. What about if you're the National Football League looking at this? If you're college football, if you're one of these athletic directors looking at what transpired in Major League Baseball, and there's not contact for the most part in Major League Baseball, and you're dealing with a contact sport, a barbaric sport where there's hitting on every single play that takes place during a football game, where you're looking at 53 actives on any given NFL Sunday. If you're the NFL, this has got to scare the bejesus out of you that you're going to see football this fall.